We are in Barcelona for this Grid World Series event. Kristen, tell me something about this circuit. What have our drivers got in store today?
Well, my name's not Kristen, but what I can tell you is that we've got 19 or 20 F1 cars racing around the streets of Barcelona, and this is going to be absolute mayhem. Welcome, guys, to another Grid video. Grid 2019, Grid 3, whatever you want to call it what you want. But this is going to be quite an interesting spectacle. Racing F1 cars around non-traditional circuits. In the last video, check it out if you haven't already, we raced this R26 around the likes of Malaysia, and we also raced it around some other track, I can't remember the name, but it is a regular track as well. But in this one, we're turning off the assists. You can see all the assists there are kind of down the middle with the ABS, traction control, stability control, and also the AI difficulty is on medium. We're going to up that to hard difficulty, and we're going to put ourselves well and truly in the deep end. So if you guys enjoy this kind of content, make sure you leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more racing game content. Full damage is on as well. And in order for these changes to be applied, we actually have to restart the race. So that is exactly what we're going to do. So here we go to no red lights, and away we go for the new Spanish Grand Prix. We're set to be racing in Barcelona in 2020, but not at Catalunya. We're racing in the streets, and this is our first little exploration maybe into that. But yeah, this circuit is very, very tight. If I remember correctly, this is on the original grid. So if you're familiar with that track, you'll be familiar with this one. I am not. It's been many, many years since I've even touched the grid games. I think Grid Autosport was the last one to come out, and I wasn't that great at this one. At that one, sorry. But yeah, today I'm racing on the controller. We've upped the difficulty, we've upped the stakes, and we've gone to a circuit which I have absolutely no bearing of where to go. So my driving is still going to be pretty darn terrible. As you can see there, riding over a ripple strip, a partial throttle, a bit of steering input as well, but it seems that the curbs this game pretty much like auto spin curbs, so you'll definitely want to avoid those, at least in the Formula 1 car. Now bear in mind, all the recording I did at the capture event was done just in the F1 car. The file sizes for these were so large that it took like an hour for my recorded footage to go back onto my hard drive, and I had extra time with the game, and I tried out some of the slower cars, and to be honest, I feel like the slower cars are actually more enjoyable to drive than what this car is at the moment. It's just a really steep learning curve with getting up to grips with this car and chucking it around this kind of circuit, which isn't built for an F1 car. Yeah, lots of problems are going to arise. You can see the engine cover is a little bit wobbly there as we go through to start the third lap. It actually flies off the car. More like, here's a slow-mo replay of the engine cover. Just under the rear wing there, flies off, and now we have a fully exposed Formula 1 engine. Lucky this isn't a 2019 car, otherwise we might have spies all around the circuit trying to catch a glimpse of how the inner workings of this engine works, but it's fine. It's, 13 years old now, this car? Still sounds amazing, still looks amazing, even at this present day. But there we go. I think this is coming up to the final couple of corners here. We really haven't been able to make any inroads on the AI. I've just been busy crashing, bouncing off walls, losing bits of my car. It's been quite insane. But we finish out our first race at the new Spanish Grand Prix in P9. So with that then, let's move on to the next race. It's Okutama GP. This is actually set kind of around a mountain, so this is going to be even less of a ideal circuit to race on in an F1 car. It's going to be probably, I think this is going to cause more crashes than what we just had, because now we've got undulation thrown into the mix of this kind of street circuit. But anyway, let's get into it.
Kristen, a pleasure as always to be in your company. And if you didn't know Kristen, everybody, she is a two-time World Time Attack champion, as well as a regular top-level touring car driver. So Kristen, with all that expertise, tell us about this place.
Thanks, Alex. Look, we've got you classic circuit here. Over the course of the Grid World Series, we've seen many different types of venue and racing. However, these tracks are custom designed, built, and tested for racing.
Thank you, Kristen.
All right, we'll get back to that shortly, because the race is about to get underway.
Here we go then. Okutama GP. This is quite a crazy, wild circuit. Expect crashes to happen. You probably saw the opening clip, so you probably know what to expect. But yeah, this is, I don't know, as you go up the mountain, it kind of is a street circuit, because it looks like you can just drive around here regularly, but half of it kind of looks like a bit of a dedicated road course as well, as we already have a big spin coming up the mountain. Kind of reminds me of the opening sector of like Bathurst, this does. Great circuit if you've ever tried it out, but looks like we're not going to get the opportunity to, because we have already had terminal damage. Just what, 40 seconds into the Grand Prix, we restart and go again, and we have a monumental crash, clip the inside barrier, and then we find ourselves in the drink. Here's a slow-mo replay. Just clip that left rear tire, centers into the barrier, and then we somehow barrel rolled over the top of the fencing, and we lose rear wing, we lose our front wing, a couple of little bits off the sides as well, and that is a lot of damage conceded by this poor old F1 car. I've been trying to do that for years in racing games, like the old Need for Speed games, trying to throw myself over the top of a barrier, off of a mountain. Never worked. Didn't even try to do it there. I was trying to race seriously, and we propel ourselves into a lake. So that's awesome. Nice to see there's no like force field barrier there that will stop you from living out your dreams of having some terrible crashes. But anyway, we just about to avoid one there. A light scrape against some large rock there, and we're able to press on with this Grand Prix. I let a couple of cars go through here because I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to see what it would be like to fight up against some of the AI here at this circuit. We smash in the back of Levin there, and get on the power too early. So it seems like curbs, or whenever there's just a slight bit of undulation, like it rolled into an off-camber exit there as we put on the power, and that was enough to destabilize the rear and sent us into a bit of a spin. So got to be very careful with this F1 car. It's so twitchy. Probably doesn't help as well, just the way that the handling model is. I don't know, the steering is just very, very twitchy when you turn the wheel with the controller. I would love to see what this handles like on the wheel, but yeah, if I'm going to be brutally honest, I don't exactly love the handling of this car. I love the handling of the slower cars because it's a whole lot more manageable, but I don't know, it's hard because I could potentially love it if I had a bit more time with the game and actually got used to how the car feels. But at the moment, oh, that's close, as we clip the tyre bundles out of the final corner. That's a really nice corner as well as you go flying through there, fully gripped up. There's a lot of potential in this car, and I needed a lot more practice than what I got in order to get the most out of it. So yeah, we'll get there eventually, but the learning curve with the slower cars is a lot less, and yeah, it's a lot easier to push on the limit. With this car, I'm not getting anywhere near the limit out of this. I'm just kind of a passenger a little bit as we make a nemesis out of Diego there. That's what you want to see. I think we've got a couple of nemesis now at this stage. I think the maximum amount of nemesis you can get is like 4 in a singular race. As we smash the back of Diego, we spin off the grass as well. So the grass, sometimes when you apply the throttle, can be a bit tricky as we make another nemesis. Dylan Jenkins? Yeah. Sorry. Just making lots of enemies out here, making absolutely no friends. We make another nemesis, Marlena. I'm very sorry about that. I think we took a flashback there, and we're going to go again. But yeah, my driving is absolutely atrocious. Once I can get my hands on a wheel, or just try it on my own setup with maybe a gaming monitor, I feel like things will be a lot different. But yeah, I'm absolutely struggling, as you can see. Another crash. Oh, no. This is just... I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. I can only apologize about how terrible the driving is. And, you know, believe it or not, this actually isn't the worst race that I put together in this capturing session. I did a race around Brands Hatch next, and it was done in reverse, but I just kept running wide everywhere. That was the worst race by far. I don't even think I'm going to upload it because I drove so bad in that one, but here we go. Final couple of corners in the Grand Prix. We spun out on the grass again. It's just, I don't know what to say at this point. I think I've actually run out of flashbacks as well, so the ability to rewind is now out the window. Through the last corner, we spun again off of the curb, and the race just goes from bad to worse as we get collected again. Last place in this Okutama GP. It's just a race to forget as we cross the line. We can't out-drag the other guy that we took out, so it is last place. But there we go. That has been Grid, the Grid 2019, Grid 3. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more racing game content. Let me know down in the comments if you want to see a career mode Let's Play on this. I'm still like, I don't know. I'm on the fence about this. But since there is like an F1 car, we have, you know, something to strive for. The lower down cars are really fun to drive, like I said, but it all really just depends on your interest at this stage. Look at the driver. He's like, he's got no neck muscles. He was like getting dragged around there. But yeah, some interesting physics. Yeah, a couple of things that I quite like about the game. There are other things that I don't exactly like the handling of this car in particular. Sometimes the way that you spin isn't great, and sometimes if you get caught up on a wall going through like a long corner, you can actually get stuck on the wall, and that's kind of annoying. But that seems to be just about all the gripes that I have with Grid so far. It is still not a complete game just yet, but I'd imagine that this build isn't too far away from the completed product. But anyway, with that said, thank you so much for watching. It's a fun game nonetheless, and I look forward to getting stuck in with the single player and multiplayer experience once the game releases next month. But with that said, thank you so much for watching. Until the next one, I'll see you next time.
Right on to lap 2. You're keeping up with the pace.